Hi, it's Liz with today's Bible thought. And so today is from Philippians 4, and I know a lot of you have heard one of the verses from the chapter I'm reading from, but it's taken out of context. And for those of you who know me well, you know that taking a Bible verse out of context is one of my pet peeves. I would really encourage people to read what's before and what's after the verse. Now, today I'm not going to read the entire book of Philippians or the entire fourth chapter of Philippians. You could do that, though. It's a good thing. The book of Philippians is fabulous. So I'm just going to read a few verses, but I'm not just going to read Philippians 4:13. And I am going to give you the context of the verses I'm reading. So I'm going to start with verse 11, part of it. And the reason Paul was writing this letter to the people from Philippi was because they had sent him a gift. He's in prison. They were concerned about him. So they sent him a monetary gift, and it was delivered by a messenger. And so Paul was thanking them, but he begins with these words. I am not saying this, the thank you for the gift, because I am in need. For I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. That's Philippians 4:13, that last verse. And most of us have heard it. The verse is quoted usually from the version that reads, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, or I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's true. That is true. We can do all things that Christ requires of us because he gives us the strength to do them. But in the context of this, we hear a deeper principle, the principle of contentment. And that is a huge biblical principle because like Psalm 23, verses 1 and 2, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The whole idea of having everything we need in Christ. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need food. You do need food. God knows you need food. But there are times we have plenty of food, and there are times we don't. There are times we have plenty of social interaction, and there are times we don't. The secret is the contentment in Christ, in knowing that Christ is with us and knowing that he will give us the strength we need to persevere. One of my favorite parts of this passage is the part that says, for I have learned. It's not like an instant thing. It's not like you become a Christian, you decide to follow Jesus, and all of a sudden you're content all the time, Maybe, but most of the time it's a learning process. And for me, it has definitely been a learning process. And this COVID-19 thing has helped me along the way a little bit more to learn to trust God and to learn to be content with what he has for me each day. So I really challenge you guys, read the book of Philippians. It's only a few chapters. Take some time today and just read it. Chapter 2 about Christ emptying himself and the attitude we should have. Philippians 4, the part about rejoicing. Philippians 4:4-7 about not worrying or being anxious. There's so many rich parts of the book of Philippians. It's in the Bible, go figure. But read the Bible today and start the process of learning to be content, because Christ will give you the strength to do it. I really pray that you're having a good day. It's Friday, it's cold, but be encouraged. Spring is still coming, and we hope you have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday with a Bible thought.